our spirit? What is it? Where does it go? Are we able to see them using our mind's eye? If so, just what can spirit teach us? Welcome to School Through Spirit. Host DeEtte Renee is a certified psychic medium and master teacher of psychic and mediumship development through LWISSD. DeEtte was born knowing spirit and now is here to help you better understand the spirit world. And now your host, DeEtte Renee.
Hey everybody, this is DeEtte here on School Through Spirit with WLTKDB.com. Yes, I got my blankie and I'm putting it on because I'm chilled. Anyway, guys, this is a show of basically a spiritual nature in which I do talk to different people that where spirit has really kind of affected their life in some aspect. And I do start the show with a conversation brought to me by spirit and or the good book of Neil Diamond Walsh, which a lot of times they correlate together, which is amazing how that works. And then we bring in my guest. Well, my guest today is Mr. Aaron G. Thompson, and he is a paranormal investigator. He is cast of 28 Days Haunted. This man is, hey, good morning, Bill and Jamie and Tim and Keith. And he is just a phenomenal man who does a lot of good for a lot of people. He creates rings. I mean, the list that this gentleman does is endless, and I'm so excited to have him. He did fair warn me, guys, if you have motion sickness, you're going to have to shut your eyes or take your Dramamine now, because he is probably going to be on the road this morning. So, and doing this interview probably by his phone on the road. But again, I'm so appreciative that he said yes, and he was coming in, and we got this. Hey, Jennifer and Jamie Lee and Mullen Gun One. I don't know who you are, but good morning. So since I came in late, and I'll tell you what, and I do apologize, but I have good reasons why I'm late on Monday mornings. I'm here early, not early enough. It's the only time me and Todd, the producer, get to talk. And I just totally forget about time. And that's what happens. So I do apologize, but it's still a 2-hour show. So we get a good hour and 45 to 50 minutes in. So there you go. Okay. Oh, and at the end of the show, I will follow it up with a reading for the week via cards. I'm not sure what that, I'm not buying any new decks, guys. So we'll just have to grab one from the stack. Good morning, Courtney. So let's do it. Well, this is short and sweet. Oh, wow. And by the way, happy Labor Day, guys. And now I'm like, wow, okay, this is really short. It says your feelings are real, not made up, creations of your mind. So it says your feelings are real, not made up, creations of your mind. So get out of your mind and get back to your senses to know what is best for you. And it said, remember this, true celebration is mindless. Wow. Very, very few words, but huge. I did, Bill. And I was going to, hold on one second, guys. Bill, I was going to do a surprise attack Saturday night and just show up out of nowhere. That was my total plan. And we had a family reunion and it went late. And then I fell asleep, and I'm sorry. I'm going to surprise attack one of these times. Anyway, let's get back to this, but I am sorry, Bill. So let's read it again. It says your feelings are real, not made up creations of your mind. So get out of your mind and get back to your senses to know what is best for you. And then it says, remember this, true celebration is mindless. Now let's really kind of, I don't want to do this as a whole. I want to do this as individually. Good morning, Raz. And good morning, Courtney. If I didn't say good morning to Courtney. Let's break this down a little bit. I like the first aspect, okay? I love the first aspect because it does, so many people, including myself, we tend to ignore our feelings, or we take what others people tell us we should be feeling or we should be doing. Okay. So often we do that we feel as if, you hear the words drama, you hear, and now let's go with the aspect of drama. That's a big one, is it? Let's go. Oh, I still love you guys too. So let's go from that aspect and kind of work it from drama back. Okay. how does drama really get started? And this is my take on it. This is my take on it. So for myself, drama gets created when our feelings are ignored, when our feelings are not validated. Okay. And I do believe that's kind of how I believe it starts and then escalates, just starts and escalates. And I think it goes back to that feelings thing, because when we are not looked upon, or we are not validated on our own feelings of what we are feeling, or somebody looks at us and says, oh my gosh, you're just making that up, or you're making it worse, or whatever. Again, drama creates from there. A lot of times we stop looking at our own feelings. We stopped breaking things down. Okay. And you can take this from drama and anger and everything else. You know what I mean? So what I'm telling you, in my brain, this subject is getting deeper and deeper and deeper. And I'm like, oh my God, I don't know where to go with this. I don't know where to go with this. Anger is a good one. So often we'll use anger because it's an all-encompassing feeling. It's an all-encompassing feeling. And what I mean by that is anger, can be mad, frustrated, disappointed, too much happening, too many things coming at you at once, and it gets all balled up and creates something bigger than what it could be, or than what it should be even. I mean, and I'm not going to not validate that anger is definitely a thing, because it is, and I get angry. I think everybody gets angry. But when you start to validate your feelings, when you start to break down what you're angry about, why are you angry? And you start to look at this and go, okay, these are very much validated things. Okay, I'm angry because I got disappointed in myself and or somebody else. I'm angry because I became frustrated with the outcome of something, or I did not like the decision made. I became disappointed, and possibly whatever might have happened. When we break down feelings, when we break down what that bigger thing is, and we start to break down the real truth of what a feeling is, it becomes very, very much easier to deal with, very much easier to expand on, okay, and to work through. And I will tell you, we tend to be a lot healthier people when we start to break things down. When we start to realize that, you know what, we need to discuss our feelings. We need to acknowledge our feelings, because if we don't, we get very big explosions on things. We start to not feel validated. We start to feel as if we are pawns in a much bigger game. And we're not pawns. And this really is not a game. But really what this is us looking at ourselves going, you know what? These are things that need to be validated. Okay. So I love that. So that's what I'm looking about with that first line. Your feelings are real, not made up creations of your mind. So when I say that and you start to break down, I mean, how often are we in a culture these days that we look at somebody and go, let's talk about your feelings? I know in our house we do this. We do this with the little ones because, right now my grandson, he's at that beautiful age where everything is, I'm angry, I'm angry, I'm angry. Why? Because he doesn't understand the rest of his feeling base. So we will look at him and go, why are we angry? Are you mad about something? Are you not happy about something? We break it down for him. Did you want it to turn this way instead of this way? We ask these questions because we validate what is honestly going on in him. And that sounds so, thank you, Keith. That sounds like it's so generic, doesn't it? It sounds like it's a whole lot of time. And when you're looking at a 3-year-old, it does take a lot of time to break down these feelings, because why? He doesn't understand his feeling base. And we have to separate them for him. But I will tell you, in our society, we continue that as adults, where we stop looking at our feelings as individual things. Instead, we throw them into one big cauldron. Halloween's coming. And we mix it up and we call it one big emotion. And then when we start to try to break them down, people say that, gosh, guess what? You're making that up in your head. That's not true. That's not. Yes, You're allowed to feel what you need to feel. You are allowed to have your feelings because every person has a different perspective on something. And I will tell you what, that ends up being a lot of, society's arguments is different perspectives, you know. And I will tell you what, I do a lot of coaching. AKA, guess what, guys? I'm also a certified life coach. Okay, certified life spiritual coach. And what I do with people, when I talk to them, I tell them, let's break down that. Let's break it down. Let's break things down so we can change your perspective on something. We're not going to change what has happened. And we're definitely not going to change how you feel about something, okay? Because those things are very valid and you need to be able to feel those things. But what we can do is break down things to try to change the perspective, to try to understand what you're feeling, okay? And what I mean by that is, and I like drama, Jamie Lynn just said, drama starts with a snide comments on social media. It can. Hello, Miss Deborah. But literally start to break your things down. Look at stuff, Um, I'm trying to, I got so many scenarios in my head, guys, and I feel like I'm all over the place on this one. But I want you guys to start, bye, Keith, have a great day. I want you guys to start looking at your feelings. I want you guys to start acknowledging your feelings for yourself, okay? Because I'm going to tell you, when you start to break these things down, okay, not only do we stop a lot of drama, we stop fueling different things that don't need to be fueled. Okay. We stop feeding into things. But when we start to understand our own feelings, what we end up doing is we start to get to know ourselves better. And that's huge. It's huge because our feelings are ourselves. Okay. We can think that we walk through this life very mindlessly and really kind of going all over the place, but it really isn't. We walk through our days with feelings all the time. We do get angry. We do get upset. We do have a multitude of things going on. But when you start to break down the whys, you start to understand yourself. Okay. So let's go back to that word anger. You get angry over something. Okay. That's a quick ball of a lot of emotions all wrapped into one. Break it down. You're going to look at your situation and say, okay, let's just take, I was late this morning. Oh, I'm angry because I was late myself this morning. Well, let's break that down. Okay, why am I angry? Well, I'm disappointing myself because I have been trying to be more mindful of my time and somebody else's time. So I should have been watching the clock. And that's a disappointment I have in myself. I got frustrated with myself. Why? Because I know I'm able to do this, but I failed to do this. I am sad. Why? Because maybe there's people out there that expect me there right at 9:00 and I did not show up. So now I am sad because maybe some people thought that yet wasn't showing up today, so chose not to keep waiting for me. Okay. I am hurt. Why? Because I might have hurt other people because I did not show up in a timely manner. So now what have I done? I've broken down my feelings as to why I would have been angry. I've broken them down. Now I can look at those and say, okay, what is the basis of me? Why did I get angry? Well, wait a second. I'm a caring person. I cared about somebody else. I'm caring. I feel for people. I'm empathetic. I'm trying to be a upright, honest person. I'm trying to show respect. These start to tell me different aspects of me. So that word anger, when I start to break it down into individual things and figure out why individually I felt to create that, and then I can start to look at what are aspects of myself that created those feelings. And then I can look back at myself and go, wait a second. Okay. That makes a big difference, isn't it? So it starts to go, wait a second, this is much bigger than ourselves. This is something this is a tool we can use for life. Now, how does that change perspective on things? Okay. What it changed my perspective is my anger part was I was late. Now that I've broken down my all my points, I can look at them and go, you know what? I'm going to change my perspective on this because right now I'm very angry with myself. So let's change that perspective and say, you know what? I have all these other feelings going on in myself, but you know what? I am this person. So what I'm going to do when I come on, the first thing I'm going to do is say, I apologize for what I've done. This is why I was late. And again, I apologize. I hope you do understand. And next week, I am going to try to do better. And I'm going to change the perspective of my outcome. Okay. It takes that where I don't feel as bad. Because again, my feelings are mine. My feelings really are going to represent myself. And it's going to flip how I see things. Why? Because I'm going to start to see something in a different way. Anger are those big, bald feelings. And I will say, you know, a lot of anger is one, but you also have the other, you know, ecstatic is another one, you know, on more positive nature. But when we start to break those down and we start to look at things and we start to go, wait a second, we can start to change perspectives because things like anger will stop you from seeing a bigger picture. Things like being ecstatic will stop you from seeing a bigger picture. And really, when we start to break things down and we start to look at everything individually, and then you apply them back to the same picture, all of a sudden that picture gets much bigger, much brighter, and you're able to see things. You're able to flip things around and see it in a different way, which will entail change your perspective. Okay. So hopefully we made sense of all that. It's a huge subject that needs a whole lot more time to talk about. But this is one I think is also a day-to-day thing. It's not something that you can just do individually. Now, I like to address the last thing because it said, remember this, true celebration is mindless. True celebration is mindless. And I like that because now I'm trying to pair it with what we've just talked about because I know Neil has. I know Neil has put this all together. And I'm really hoping I can encompass what he was thinking, but I highly doubt I'm going to be able to get in Neil's mind and try to do that. So I'm going to do this from my aspect. And when I look at this, you know what? I'm going to agree with this because I think it takes another one of those things when we look at something and we go, we do major celebrations, don't we? We go, wow, here we go, you know, and we want to do the airs and the flares and graduation parties or whatever to make these huge things. But really, a celebration is what's in the mind. It's an achievement. Isn't it? Isn't that why we celebrate achievements? The biggest achievement you're ever going to have is the one that you have in here. It's not one that's going to be represented by balloons and represented by fireworks and represented by parades and everything else. It's not. True celebration is going to come from the mind when you go, damn, I did it. It's in here. Because nobody is going to be able to create on the outside what you feel in here. This is welcoming people into your achievement. This is welcoming somebody into it. But truly, that celebration is going to go in here. That celebration is when you walk through someplace and somebody goes, oh, great job, good job. And you keep walking through because by the time you get to your office, you know, say you got a promotion. You don't have a big party for a promotion, do we? Hey, Candy. But as we're walking through and everybody's telling you congratulations as you keep moving. You don't need flowers and balloons at the end when you get to your desk. It's all those simple things on the way that go, wow, I'm recognized. It's in here. It's really in here. It's in your mind. It's in your heart. It's how you feel. And it comes back to that feeling thing, doesn't it? So, guys, I want you to take some moments. I want you to take some time and I want you to think about your feelings these days. I want you to really look at yourself and understand what your feelings are. I want you to be able to break those feelings down. I want you to be able to get to know yourself a little bit better. Because when you do start to get to know yourself, this is going to become easy. This is going to become very easy. You're going to start to realize you are not your parents. You are a product of your parents, but you're not your parents. You no longer have to view things, and you no longer do usually view things the way your parents did, or your grandparents did, or maybe society does. You really start to realize that you view life the way you do. And sometimes we're just getting angry, sorry to say it, but for somebody else. And that's really hard, especially if you're on the outside and you're consoling somebody else. It's really hard. So I want you guys to take your time this week to really kind of delve into your own feelings. I want you to look at things, and when you go, you know what, I'm angry, or I'm sad, or I'm happy, or whatever the feeling might be, find the reason behind the feeling. Break it down. And I don't want it to be as simple as, oh, I'm happy because a good thing happened. No, I'm happy. Why? Why? Why are you happy? Why did this make me happy? Start to get to know you. That's what feelings are about. Feelings were not created so that we could throw anger and drama and, verbal shit at people. Nor were feelings created so that you can throw it all back at yourself and dish yourself. That's not why feelings were created. Feelings were created to help us to grow, to help us to navigate this life, to help us to understand ourselves. And the cool thing about that is, and people don't realize, is, you know what, when you're not in the body and you're just the soul, your soul is all about love. It's about pure love. Once we join with this body, it is about so much more. Why? Because you get to feel everything, and those feelings help you to navigate life and help you to further understand everything that you're navigating. The more you understand this, the more you break it down, the more you gather this information, the more you're going to give back to yourself, and the more you're going to understand life. And it's pretty cool when that happens. So take some time this week and do that. On that note, we're going to take a quick break. And when we get back, we're going to bring in Aaron. I'll see you in a few minutes. This is Dad here on School Through Spirit with WLTKDB.com. See you in a few.
Looking for a unique paranormal experience? The Haunted Rock Island YMCA Paracon, October 7th, from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. is just the event you're looking for. You will have the opportunity to investigate the Haunted Rock Island YMCA with ACG Paranormal. Visit with over 60 paranormal and metaphysical vendors from 8 or more states. And pre-order your t-shirts at dvinar@aol.com. Visit a psychic gallery reading, mediums, tea leaf reading, animal communication, dream interpretation, aura reading, tarot and oracle card readings, or get a Reiki healing. See a demonstration of the Estes method by Carly Bird. Presentations by Nick Simons and Aaron G. Thompson of 28 Days Haunted, Greg Bakken from Ghostbox Radio, and headliner Rick Hayes, along with many folks you'll see on Paraflix. Be sure to like and follow our sponsors: Paraflix, WLTK DB Talk Radio LLC, Studio 6 Productions, Unturned Pages, and Ocean Eye Crystals. General admission is only $5, and all proceeds go directly to the Haunted Rock Island YMCA. For more information on the Haunted Rock Island YMCA Paracon and vendors, look for them on Facebook under Events.
Everybody, welcome back. This is Jed here on School Through Spirit with WLTKDB.com. And as I promised, we have Mr. Aaron G. Thompson this morning. He is a paranormal investigator and the cast of 28 Days Haunted. Remember, if you didn't take your Dramamine, take it now, because Aaron is en route someplace, because it is a day off for him too. So let's welcome in Aaron. Hi, Aaron.
Hey, Jed, how you doing?
Pretty good, pretty good. Told everybody you might be en route someplace today.
This is true. I'm in middle America right now. Always hustling one way or the other, and just happened to be, I did land in a spot, Casey's gas station. Casey's wonderful, gas stations Midwest.
I have done lots of readings and shows in Casey's driveways or parking lots.
Yes. I'm glad it was in the middle of nowhere with me. So I'm like, I have no clue. I was looking for like a park entrance or something. I was like, oh my gosh, I hope I have service wherever I'm at. I didn't quite anticipate, but
You didn't show
hey,
up
it
in
works
Iowa, did
out.
you?
Yeah, well, that's where I'm headed. I'm in middle Illinois right now. Well, I guess I'm
Okay,
headed at the end of Illinois.
into Illinois, somewhere. I
Yeah,
love
I
it.
don't know. I'm just going. I'm going west.
I'm just going, and I'm just so happy you decided to say yes. And even though it's Labor Day, and I knew it should have been a day off for you, I appreciate you coming in and saying, yeah, you would show up. So I
My
appreciate
pleasure.
that, you
I
know.
am honored to be on air with you. So thank you so much for inviting me. I
I
appreciate
love
that.
it. So, like I explained to everybody, you're a paranormal investigator and you've been 28 days haunting, and now you're like all over the place doing, social media
Oh,
and having a blast, having a blast. But how did this really get started for you? I mean, you one day you didn't show up, and we've heard Nick's side of it, but you're pre-Nick. You brought Nick into this. So
pre-Nick. That's what we're gonna call it. PN. Oh man, remember back in PN? Um,
poor
a few
Nick.
of us were there. No, no, I know. I loved it. Yeah, it's been a wild ride, and I'm enjoying it. This is my passion. I tell people I've trained myself wrong as an adult because now all I know, my skill set goes to a form of afterlife research, metaphysical practicing in some format. Which ghost hunting, by the way, spoiler alert, is a metaphysical practitioner.
It is.
If and if you're not there yet, you got years to catch up. You'll get there.
Exactly.
Um, but yeah, I started in 1999. That's when I made my very first actionable movement forward in this crazy service pseudoscience.
Right.
Um, it was my fear of death actually that led me to the development to actually find out something.
Mhm.
Um, Admittedly, I didn't know what I was looking for when I first jumped in, and I really only had the filter of or the um, layer of ghost hunting, or excuse me, ghost. I ain't ghost hunting. I didn't know ghost hunting was a thing. Honestly, I was going to do it. I didn't know I was doing something that was already being done in some capacity. But
Well, I don't even know if we had Ghost Adventures in '99, did we?
we did not. Oh, no, we did not.
No,
There was
nothing.
only yeah, unsolved mysteries.
Right.
Um, there was some specials on TV every now and then. The UK had a show that was ongoing. But no, it was. I mean, it wasn't known in the US. I had no clue of it at the time.
Right.
So yeah, it was hard for me to. I didn't know who to look for a mentor around. Honestly, I had no clue where to start. And when I first started researching, I noticed this thing called um, ghost hunting, and I'm like, is that what I'm doing? So is that the thing? Okay, okay. Let's see what needs to happen here. Let's see what tools, what stuff, and it
Right.
was all, the words were all fancy. It was all interesting new tools and ideas, and I was just building my knowledge base on this idea, and that was kind of transition into the different types of energy, spirits, forms, and more metaphysical. Jumped to more science. So I did about 2 years of book research before I actually went out to my first location.
Oh, wow.
Um, yeah, I
That's
hit it.
different than
It was
everything I've
serious,
ever heard. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, and I didn't. And here's another thing you may not hear too often. I did not believe that actually spirits or ghosts existed. I thought it was just a reaction of fear in like Homo sapiens and humans because we don't know the end, so we create these fantasies so we're okay with living. But I didn't want to live like that. I had a fear
Yeah.
of death, and I recognized that. I didn't believe in ghosts existed. I thought once we're done, boom, and even at that point, I guess we won't really worry about it, will we? So I
Right.
was on that narrative, but I wanted to go completely unbiased with the research, because also I looked at like institutions of actually both metaphysical within that 2 year period, both metaphysical and scientific buildups of what we currently do, and they were both very biased
Mhm.
to the one side. The science folks really loved the science, disregarded the metaphysical. Metaphysical really loved the woo-woo, but disregarded the science. And I
Right.
thought that was bizarre. I didn't really put two and two together at the time, but I just thought that was bizarre. And if I want something done, I got to do it myself. So I wanted to walk in very unbiasedly. Again, I probably was more on the science base, but I didn't want to disrespect metaphysical because I had a lot of very prominent people in my world that very intelligent, and they had a belief of some sort. So I had to take that in regard. And the possibility was it seemed plausible that
Yeah.
there's some stain of energy when we pass.
Right.
But I just didn't know the context of that. Still, of course, getting details on that. But yeah, I went out on my first. I was 19 years old when I went to my first, so 2001, when I went to my first on-site uh, investigation, and it was actually a good acquaintance of mine who was in high school, unfortunately passed away. She
Oh, I'm
passed away
sorry.
months before, just before graduation. So I thought, you know what? There's an emotional tie to that in a sense. Let's go big or go home. So I went to the cemetery in the middle of nowhere country, and with a team, and I handpicked the team. The team had to be 21 years or older. Mind you, I was 19, but
Right.
but there's three of them that I chose, and I had a manila envelope that had printouts of their job task. I think one I assigned a photographer, one I assigned a recorder. I don't know if I assigned an audio person, but I had all the basic generic scenarios why I can just kind of supervise and maintain the flow and direction. Mind you, I was just book smart, and
Right.
they were enthusiasts. They were just kind of seeing what the heck's going on. But I wanted to go big, and that was an interesting first scenario. But I think we
Right.
were chased off by coyotes, actually. Um, I mean, I think we were in the aspect of we heard barking and we heard approaching wildlife, so we exited. That's
Okay.
kind of where that
So you
goes.
were
If
scared
we
off,
put the,
but not by ghosts.
yeah, yeah, exactly. There may have been some supernatural scenarios I can gather data with at that moment, but it was a unique first impression of on site, and it was so bizarre, right? To go on site. Mind you, I have no mentor. There's no real shows that
Right.
indicate what needs to happen. There's just me going, okay, I need to go out here. Let's just see kind of what the
Oh, we lost Nick, guys. He'll be back. Don't worry. Soon as he realizes we lost him, he just lost service, which I'm not surprised because again, he's in an area that may not have the most internet. So I'm gonna send him a message going, "Oh my gosh, Nick, we lost you." Unless I'm not knowing what I'm doing here. Um, I lost Nick. I lost Aaron. I apologize. I literally clicked onto my Facebook to message Aaron, and who do I see but Nick? Nick sharing the video. So I apologize, Nick. So Nick, since I know you're watching, can you message Aaron and let him know? And he'll be back in again. Oh, he just said he hit the leave button by mistake. So yes, Nick, if you're out there, message Aaron, let him know to jump back on. So I apologize. So I like that. So I want to kind of go on what he was just talking about was more wisdom by the nail lady. No, not really more wisdom. I'm just going to kind of iterate what Aaron was saying, because that's really kind of cool how he was talking about when he got started. It was about the science. It was about research. It was, not having a mentor, not having somebody. And I think a lot of us take that for granted these days. Why? Because we literally go, wait a second, what's going on? Because these days when people start to get into paranormal investigation or ghost hunting, we have mentors everywhere. We have taps, we have, the ghost finders, we have ghost adventures, we have, dead files, Holzer files, Dave Schrader, Cindy Kaza, Jason Hawes, Dustin Perry. The names are out there. The list is endless of all of these wonderful things we have going on. And he didn't have that. So we're going to bring him in so he can continue his story. Oh my God, there he is.
Hey,
It's so
I'm
funny.
back.
We're like, and then I literally popped into Facebook. It's so funny, Aaron, because I popped into Facebook to send you a message going, I think he hit the leave button and Nick's name was there. I said, we lost Nick. And I'm like, wait, we lost Aaron. Nick, tell Aaron we lost Aaron.
He's probably on it. He's on it.
He's on it. He's on it. So, but I was just
Yeah.
reiterating how you started this without mentors. So,
So I'm a Taurus, and as we learn about Taurus being in the woo-woo, we're stubborn as hell. I tell people we're passionate. um, so I had this. So my fear of death was pretty unsettling, right? And I unfortunately I got this weirdly enough around 8 years old, and I don't understand.
I think he might be losing connection, guys. I don't know if he'll keep trying, I'm sure, but if we lose him again, might just have a shorter show. That's all. It's really weird. Bad connection for sure. Yeah, Todd just said bad connection for sure. So he may not be able to continue, guys. He might try one more time, but I'm gonna let him know if he pops back out again. I don't want him to get frustrated. So, but again, while we're waiting for him to come in, what a way to start. And that's just it. When you look at paranormal investigation, I'm going to tell you, I feel like this is one of the most honest things I've ever heard from somebody is we can replace him with Nick. Those two are very much individuals, Jamie. They really are. And I love them. I've grown to love them both. And poor Nick just gets the shit end of the deal with me because I literally go into my head because I've screwed up his name so many times. Now I go into my head and I've literally renamed him and Gene. I really have renamed him and Gene, and it's horrible. And I got to stop doing it. So I keep trying to straighten the name out in my head. But anyway, when you look at going into investigations, so many of us, you hear the story and you've heard the story over and over again. I was a child. I had this happen. I had that happen. We had so many different things happen. I mean, the stories usually, I'm not going to say are the same because everybody's very individual, but I've never heard the story of, I was afraid of death. I was afraid of death. I want to know something about that. I also like the fact that, Aaron here is talking about the science, adding science and metaphysical. And I'm going to tell you, I agree with him. I agree with him when you're looking at both aspects. Now, this last weekend, as everybody knows, a few weeks ago, I had an encounter with a spirit that kind of, turned out it was a couple of spirits that came in and kind of came into my being called AKA One Body here because quite honestly, I didn't have probably enough information or education going into paranormal investigating like a lot of people don't. And I've learned the hard way. And since I've done a lot of talking with Patty Degree and some other amazing people out there to find out ways to protect myself. And it was very interesting because since I've started my weight loss journey, guys, I've started to weigh myself pretty regularly, and it is, and it's been the nurse in me because I know daily weight isn't going to change a big deal. Oh, I just bit my tongue. Oh my God. It's like bite my tongue on that one. But I know that my weight is not going to change a big difference, but I do take into water weight and counting this and that. And I do know from, again, nursing, how water weight can really affect. And a lot of times I think I do it because, I never know. So, and now it's just become a really bad habit. Anyway, with that being said, I noted when I had that experience on the side of the road, I knew what weight I was that morning. And it was strange. I didn't realize the next day, I mysteriously put about 4 pounds on. We're going to bring Aaron back in, guys, and we're going to continue this story later. But let's bring in Aaron. Gotcha.
Wow, I tell you, the spirits just don't want me to.
Like you giving me so much, I can talk when you're not there now.
Oh, nice. It's fun. I tried to attach to Casey's General Store, convenience store. Their Wi-Fi is not the greatest, but I just attached to it, so their Wi-Fi may be better than the middle of nowhere signal that I'm getting. So
there you go. Who knows? And I'm not worried about it. I told everybody he'll be back, he'll be out. And somebody goes, replace him with Nick. I said, you can't replace. They're two individuals.
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. I felt that. Wow. Someone's passively cursed.
That's Jamie Lynn, AKA, her.
I love Jamie. No, she's right there. I believe her. But so
he's like, I was kidding.
my phone is like, it's trying to say it's overheating, but it's actually not too hot. So we'll see what happens. We'll make it. We'll be fine. Hakuna Matata.
Do you know what I do? I always turn on the aircon and I put my phone in front of it. I travel a lot though, so there you go.
Yeah, my air conditioning broke a long time ago, so
We need to get you a better paying job than ghost hunting. I think his internet's just going to kind of be in and out, guys. Oh my gosh, I feel bad for Aaron because I know right now, I know that struggle is real. I have been there, done that, and I know how hard that struggle is. So I'm going to finish my story and kind of continue from that aspect. His phone's overheating right now, guys. And Nick, if you're in contact with Aaron right now, if he's not able to get back in, or if this is too frustrating, it's okay. Let him know it's okay, dear. And go from there. So anyway, continuing on with this with myself, I realized, you know what, I had gained about 4 pounds and I couldn't figure out, my gosh, what happened yesterday? Actually, I vomited a lot and I was in the hospital, but how the heck did I gain 4 pounds? I was in awe of this and I didn't think much of it. I really didn't. And it took about 3 days for 2 pounds to fall off. And I was like, how did I lose 2 pounds over in a day? I mean, because I'm the nurse and I'm going, was it water weight? What was going on? I'm trying to go through this whole thing in my mind. And I didn't take into account that Dan had crossed one of them over. Quite weird, huh? Well, then over a period of time where the last one had stayed with me, I was shocked that I stayed that same weight for about a week and a half. And next thing you know, out of nowhere, 2 more pounds came off. And I was really blown away by that. So it really kind of gave that aspect. Aaron, I'll bring you in a few minutes because I know you're listening. I'm going to let you travel a little bit till you get that better location. So I was blown away because scientifically what they have proven, and it's really cool because science does play a huge part in this metaphysical journey. As we know, as woo-woo people, we want to take metaphysical and we want to keep it as our own little thing. And we don't want to add science into it because we want to say that, oh my God, science is going to disprove it. Honestly, science is going to prove our case. Science is going to prove our case. And with this, they've actually scientifically proved because they've weighed people. You know, they've had people on a weigh when they're alive. And then when they pass, they notice the body gets a couple of pounds lighter. So to me, it wasn't until I had a conversation with Dad this last week and then I went, you know what? I gained weight with those encounters and then I lost weight as they left. So to me, that ended up being huge when I looked at that aspect. And Aaron is traveling, guys. I'm going to bring Aaron back in. He is traveling. Aaron, it's okay, darling.
yeah.
There we go.
Hey.
If you need
Nice.
to drive while you do this, it's okay. If you need to turn off your video, that's okay. I'm not too worried. Like I said,
Well, I think we'll be in a better connection if I just keep moving on the road here.
that works for me. And if you feel safer by turning off the video, feel free to do that because after this, it goes into a podcast and that's only oral. It's only verbal at that point.
There you go. Exciting.
There you go. In a country setting. There we go. So no, I just kind of was telling them about my experience and where I was actually kind of, you know, taking in a couple of spirits and the scientific of weight loss with weight gain and weight loss with them. Because scientifically they've been able to prove that when the soul leaves the body, there's actually a weight difference. You know?
Yep, correct. Yeah. I'm familiar with that practice. The thing with that, and I heard some of the talk there at the very end, and you're absolutely right. The science is actually going to work in conjunction with the metaphysical practicing that we do. It's hand in hand. The insecurity with someone that disregards science, I think it's void. I really feel that the confidence needs to be boosted more because you got people who deeply do this metaphysical dance in whatever category and practice that they do. There's value to it, and no one's going to say no. I mean, that's just weird. So we can't disprove, and actually scientifically, I mean, you can't disprove anything. That's an inaccurate term. A lot of people don't know that.
Right.
You can only prove the existence of something. That's all you can do with science. You cannot disprove anything.
And people don't realize when they're out investigating, in all actuality, they're performing essentially science experiments every time they go out to investigate.
Yep. Yeah, it's all about the how they process it and how they write it down and attempts to duplicate. There's ways that indicate more processes. Like when you want to when you want to.
He's just going through a bad area, guys. When we see his video moving again, we'll pop him back in. But I'm going to continue with this conversation just because, again, I feel bad I've been there, done this, and I know the frustration of going, oh my gosh, this is just a lot. Thank you, Jamie, for coming in. Jamie loves the heck out of Aaron. I know she just investigated with him over the weekend, and just an amazing. Marin is amazing on so many different aspects. But I think he is, because he does take the very much watering the garden. Aaron's trying to stay in, guys, but he's in a bad location. He keeps popping in and out. And I think if he pops in again, I'm just going to tell him straight out, if he pops out, it's okay. He doesn't have to get frustrated kind of coming back and forth. He is really giving this one hell of a good try. But again, guys, when we're looking at metaphysical, okay, when we're looking at ghost hunting, I think Aaron has really hit that really on the head. We always talk about ghost hunting or paranormal investigation from that aspect of the woohoo, don't we? We always we go, oh my God, we were there, and this voice came through, and this came through, and oh my gosh, our lights were going off. And we take it from that metaphysical. We don't take it from the actual aspect of it, of the scientific aspect. Aaron, do I have you again? Nope, I don't. Aaron was there. He's gone. I'm going to send Aaron a message and just tell him that if this is just way too much, it's okay for him to, because I understand that frustration. That frustration is real, and it's like mind blowing, and it sucks. And I get it. I'm just trying to figure out how I got onto my public page and not onto my personal page, which is making that hard for myself. So I'm going to send him a message right now. See profile. I got to flip flop all over the place, guys. This is what happens when you have way too many. Like it's on. I'm telling him to take your time, and if it doesn't happen, it's okay. The link is not working for him now. He's just, or the link was working. He's just having a hard time, kind of going back and forth, and that's okay. So we're going to bring him in, see if we got him. If not, he may be there, he may not.
Audio only. I can hear
that
you.
Worked for me, Aaron. And if you pop out, it's okay if you can't get back in, Derek, because I know how frustrating this can be. Like, I completely get it. You know?
Yeah, I apologize. I should have positioned myself in a more area that has humans.
You know what's so funny is because before you came in, I always talk about I always have a conversation, whatever I get from spirit or this book I read out of, and it talks about feelings and breaking down your feelings to understand something versus just being angry or whatever. You know what I mean?
Communication's key in every aspect we do.
Exactly. So
I agree.
And so when let's kind of go back a little bit. So when you did your first investigation and you kind of got chased off and whatnot, where'd you go from there?
I decided to continue to hone an idea of practice at more outdoor locations. And the funny thing is, whenever I would go to, and specifically cemeteries or some haunted land of some sort that was local and maybe a folklore, I would actually always call the local PD, a landlord, a caretaker, and get permission to enter. I would always do that. Again, I had no one to follow suit. I just knew this was the right thing to do because I'm stepping on people's land, and I don't, just learning, right? I don't know exactly, the process to move forward, right. And so I kept doing that, and then I about a year later or so, I got introduced to my first indoor home location, and to me it was a more controlled environment of sorts, and right. It was exciting. I'm like, oh, I'm inside a place, doing what I do, and I feel like I may prefer that, though I was getting a little comfortable with the outside scenarios. I knew that the atmospheric reads could be manipulated by all sorts of um, all sorts of info.
Now you heard me, guys. I gave him permission not to come back in if he didn't need to, and he might be Nick. You never know. Maybe he needs the vegetables to keep a better reception. I know where he's at. I do, and I realize that reception there just sucks. It sucks. So what can we kind of continue talking about with different things that Aaron was talking about so far? So I'm liking the aspect, guys, as you heard Aaron speak, he talks about the research. He did a couple years worth of research. I think that's pretty intelligent. And I'm not dissing or downplaying anybody that just kind of jumps, gets a REM pod and goes running. I'm not, because honestly, we all do things in a different way. And in this day and age, we get a lot of research or a lot placed on the TV for us to kind of watch and kind of see those ins and outs, where Aaron had to do a lot of book research for all of that. So I like that aspect. I also like the aspect that he, what you heard him say it. I always ask permission. And I like that, because so often I two things, twofold. For myself, it's asking permission, not of just people that own the land, own the cemetery, own the house, own the property, own whatever. But sometimes we're going to take it into my witchy way world. And I'm not witchy, but in my woo-woo world. And I was going to say, not dissing witches. I've been a witch in a lot of past lives. It's just not one I do in this lifetime, consciously anyway. And I do believe that with this is asking permission from the other side. How many of you go, hey, can I talk to you? Hey, do you mind if I talk? And the cool thing is you do see that with some paranormal investigators. You do see that with some paranormal investigation shows. Can we talk to you? And when they put that out there, I do believe that we get a better response. And I think that's what I've witnessed myself on some of the investigations I've gone to. When people literally not only have the permission to walk into the facility, but they sit down and they go, hey, is anybody there? Can we talk to you? Do we have permission to talk to you? They don't just right off the bat go, is there anybody here? What's your name? And we start getting like angry about that. God, there don't thank you, Nick. Not a lot of people realize that. Not a lot of people realize that aspect to being unlawful about that. In that aspect, a lot of people don't realize that that's a big thing, is to be that way. So I'm very appreciative when people do say, ask permission to be someplace, or, say, is this okay? And I do believe you start to get better results. Now, when we're looking on the aspect of science that he talked about, I think that's also a big thing. I know in my own realm, guys, scientifically, they're not able to, as far as I know, when it comes to energy, my energy work that I do, can they scientifically prove it? Yes, they have. They've been able to scientifically prove that energy workers, we exist, and that energy workers, we, what we do. They've been able to do scientific experiments on that. The mediumship mind, science is starting to be able to prove that. Why? Because you have a lot of neuroscience going in, and they're hooking the brain up to monitors. They're hooking up, to see what's going on, and they're starting to be able to prove things, which to me is astronomical. Because someday, I won't lie to you, I'm really hoping that someday that if you call yourself a medium, you're going to have to, have a stamp of approval, either from the science community or certification that says, hey, we do this. So it keeps us on the up and up, because honestly, I think we need to be on the up and up in this day and age. But also to be able to get science-based for the ghost people, ghost paranormal researchers. And I want to separate this into ghost hunters versus paranormal. It very much is, Nick. And I'm gonna say that I think Nick said, I think the proof is the people like you can work with the FBI, and that's very much true, Nick. 110% true. And I will tell you what, I'm going to tell you guys, since Nick brought this up, I'm going to give you a little secret on myself. Is I love to do remote viewing. I love to do remote viewing. What remote viewing is, going in and me being able to being given an address, and with permission of the homeowners, me being able to go in and see what their house layout is like. I can see if they have spirit activity. I can feel the residual. I can share what the house is giving me or the energy of the house is giving me. I love, love, love to investigate that aspect that way. I love being able to do that. Yeah, I don't think Aaron, I just told Aaron he's, don't worry. And I honestly don't, I'm not gonna make him stress. So he's probably not going to come back in, guys, and that's okay. Only because it's hard when you're out in the middle of nowhere. But with that being said, I love to be able to go in remote view. One thing I don't like to do, though, I will tell you, I love working on cases when it comes to investigations, when it's crimes, when it's seeing what is going on in somebody's house, things of that nature. Love, love, love it. What I do not like to do is missing people. Okay. It really is, Nick. I don't like to do missing people. Okay. And I'm going to tell you why. Okay. It's not that I don't want to help people, because honestly, I do what I do because I love to help people. I love to give. I don't like the parlor tricks. I don't like the parlor tricks. And some people put me through parlor tricks. I love to be able to help people. Okay. What I do not like to do is missing people. Why? Because a lot of times what I see when somebody says, oh my gosh, my son is missing, blah, 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 instantly, because I do remote viewing, my mind will go, where are you at? And I will see the body if they've passed away. And I cannot tell somebody, I see your son, but he's passed. I can't do it. I won't do it. Okay. Because I think it's not right to look at somebody that does not have a physical body to tell them somebody in their life has passed away. And that's my own personal opinions. It's nobody else's personal opinions. It's mine. But yeah, as a medium, we're able to look at, that last picture of somebody and be able to look at the aura and see even in that picture if they've more than probably have passed away, because an aura starts to die before the body dies. There is so much is there. Now, if I did not get that information, the end information in my head of somebody that's passed away, I would love to follow the journey of that person and see where it is. Or if they suspect that somebody's already passed away and then I get brought into it, that's another different case. Okay. I mean, you have to look at missing persons and it's a huge grand scope of things. But for myself, I don't personally like to do it just because too often that person has passed away and I'm getting that information before possibly the family has, and I don't want to be the person running down that. And I'm not very good at lying or falsifying things. So I can't look at somebody and they go, what do you think? Do you think my child has passed? And if I've already seen it, I can't look at them and go, no, I don't know. Let's find out. Let's figure this out, because my brain just wants to go. And I don't think that's a good way to deliver information to people. Oh, you wanted to sit a seance? Me too, Nick. I will tell you what, me too. I've never done a seance, guys. I've never done a seance. I've never participated in a seance. I want to someday. It's never been one of those things that I've gone down, but I will tell you, I think when Patty's in town again and she does a seance, I'm going to jump in it to see how it is and what it's all about. I do trance mediumship, though. I do trance mediumship, which can happen at a seance. I do know that. So it'd be really cool to see that and see how that happens. That would be really awesome. That would be, to me, super, super cool. So, guys, in the comments, do me a favor. Tell me, what do you feel about, Aaron's view on, the little bit he got to share. And I don't want to put this as his view, but the little bit he was able to share with the science behind it and on how he kind of got to walk into this. Because again, we got when I had Nick on, we got to hear a lot about Aaron and Nick and their journeys together. So it was kind of neat to hear how Aaron started this, pre, Nick jumping, being able to join that team. They are. Oh, I'm telling you, I'm going to have to do that sometime. I'm going to have to do that seance thing sometime. So, which I think is amazing. You think he's a perfect storm? You know what? I think you're right there, Courtney. I think he is. And I'm going to say, because to myself, again, I never hear about the science being played within paranormal investigation. It does, Joe. It really does. Joe put in there, I think it's very interesting. It brings out different perspectives. I do like that. And let's talk about that for a minute, because that's a huge point, guys. That's a huge point. The different perspective. Okay. Why? Because honestly, I said it for the few minutes that I had Aaron on there. When you're looking at paranormal investigation, when you're looking at that, so many people, we started to touch on it, but so many people look at paranormal investigations, and I'm not putting anybody under, a bus or trying to railroad anybody. But so often we look at, or I hear about paranormal investigating or ghost hunting as being more of a woohoo thing. We're getting that, they'll say I'm getting evidence. That they'll always say I'm getting evidence. I have evidence that I heard somebody, or I had the noises, or I caught it on video. So much evidence, and they use that terms, which is amazing. I love the fact when they bring those terms into light. But one of those things is that they don't look at it that this really is a science-based. It really is a science-based, because when you're walking into a place, and I'm going to tell you guys, when you guys go out and do this, what they have done is they have literally set the stage. They're walking into, a lot of times, a building that has little to no electricity, little to no heat. Okay. They're walking into some place that's unpopulated, minimal electricity, minimal heat, minimal noises. Might have some rodents running around. Let's be real. You might have some, spiders and mice and rats and raccoon here and there, whatever. But they really have just this thing where, a lot of times they don't have that extra. Now, I'm not taking into account, like homes, private, home investigations, but I'm looking at the prisons, the Broadhead Manors, things of that nature. And they walk into these, and it's pretty much a baseline. And what they are receiving information through a box, a radio. They are, they put out balls that go out there and they light up, but they have to be really impacted to light up. This isn't something simple. And this ends up being a really good, if people documented, if people sat back and honestly documented all their information, other than just, the video, really documented. Think about all that scientific proof you'd have to show of the afterlife. Nick says, Aaron tries a lot of stuff that nobody else is doing. I've watched his experience fail a lot, but once in a while he gets it. And I like that, Nick. I love that. And I think you talked about that when you were on also. Again, it's got to be that, think about all the tools. The tools that I know of that work, that I've heard of that work. You've got, what are they called? Cat balls. You've got the radio. You've got a lot of apps on phones, things of that nature. A recent investigation that I was on, I was blown away to see, God, I wish I knew all the equipment's names, guys. I don't. But it was a little meter that actually got hooked up to like an iPod speaker so that you could hear it better and clearer. And it's rock star amazing, guys. It really is amazing. And this, what I'm going to tell you, this is something that technology being able to slow things down or make it louder. Sometimes you find that proof after the fact. Okay. By that. And it's amazing. It's truly amazing how far they've come. Now, you do have people that have the stuffed animals. Gosh, it's just, you have, is it Elliot from ACG? God, if I'm wrong on that, please correct me, who makes a lot of stuff. And I'm sure Aaron probably makes stuff also, or, like Nick says, tries a lot of different things. But this really it is like science. It is trying different things, experimenting with different things. Sometimes you're going to get great feedback, sometimes nothing, and you got to tweak it or turn it or change it and until it does work. But all of these things end up being very much science experiments that I do believe someday we're going to be able to have just a whole field that's really just dedicated to the afterlife. And isn't that pretty? I'm going to say that's pretty amazing, but I'm going to also say it's going to be pretty scary to me. And I'm going to go there. I think that's going to be a very scary day for me. Thank you. I think that's Nick that wrote that, because I think, Nick, you're the only Facebook user that doesn't have their name on right now. So I'm just going to assume that's Nick. And let me go there. I'm going to go there. Okay. Because right now, again, I'm in the woo-woo world. Okay. Science is proving my brain. Thank God. And I'm so happy they're proving. I am beyond ecstatic. Let's throw every emotion, positive emotion, into there. I'm beyond ecstatic that science is proving that my brain is a medium and it works in a certain way and blah, 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 which is awesome. What scares me in this, and I'm going to be honest about this, is someday, honestly, what is going to happen is science is going to prove the afterlife. Science is going to approve the afterlife. Okay, without a doubt, they're going to prove it, and it's not going to be in the scary field anymore. It's not going. It's going to be like your toaster oven and how it heats up and bakes your toast in a minute on your counter, and it's going to be in everybody's mouth. What scares me about that? What scares me is the possibility that as soon as people realize that there's an afterlife, and they believe it, and we've proved it. My natural fear is that when people go, I don't like what's going on in my life, we'll just end this one and go to the next. And that's my fear. It might be because I did a lot of psych when I was in nursing. I don't know. But sometimes the fear of death stops us from possibly committing suicide, or possibly stops us of killing somebody. It stops violent crimes. Sometimes that fear of death will stop those things from happening. And I'm going there, and I shouldn't go there, but I do believe that sometimes when we take the fear out of something and we put an understanding, sometimes we release the fears for other things, and we might see an increase in things versus a zest for life and an understanding for life and wanting to live life. Sometimes that gets flip-flopped. And I'm really praying that I'm completely and totally wrong. And I'm really praying that that does not happen. And I'm going to X-nay everything I just set out because I don't want that to happen. But it really is a fear of mine. So I'm really hoping, as science proves the afterlife, I'm really hoping it goes hand in hand. As science and every paranormal, and I'm going to put every paranormal investigator out there into this category. Why? Because they are doing a beautiful thing. They're scientifically proving the afterlife, which is, again, a beautiful, beautiful thing. But what I'm also hoping that science does along with this is they add in the, what's it like for you over there? Did you like it here? What was this about? You know what I mean? Why are we here? Why are we in the living? Okay, now that we figured out everybody dies and they go, there is, all dogs go to heaven, quotes, all people go to heaven, quotes. Once we prove that, what's a reason to stay here? So it's kind of like taking that experiment, taking that knowledge and pushing it even further to prove why we come here. So it's almost flip-flopping it, isn't it? Because right now, when we take it from the ego aspect, we're all alive. We're afraid of death. Death doesn't necessarily happen. We just die and poof, we're gone. And we're really proving that that's not the case. But then pushing a little bit more to say, okay, if there's an afterlife and there are, our souls do go on after we pass away, and this is really happening, is there more souls on the other side than there are people in life? And are we truly coming here just for an experience? And then why would we want to be here? So it's going to be interesting is as we go along, if that is going to flip-flop, is it going to switch itself? Are the investigators out there going to start to not only prove, because they've already established there's an afterlife. I don't care what science is out there. I don't care what naysayer is out there. Paranormal investigators have proven without a shadow of a doubt that there's an afterlife. They have. But I cannot wait for the next paranormal investigator or TV show now to prove not only is there an afterlife, but why do we live? Why do we jump in this body? Why do we want to exist in this physical form and just not an energy form? What's the reason behind that? And prove that to give us all more of a reason to be here, more of a reason to experience things, more of an experience to maybe love life in all of its aspects. And I think this field has got a long way to go. I think it's come so far, but really it's a young field. Yes, mediums have been doing this for centuries. Yes, it's been there. It's been, my excuse me, my way of doing this has been there for centuries. Okay. They have got stories, they've got books, they've got documentation of the medium doing it. But again, that is not, the only proof I have to give you is that, I don't know who your grandma was, but I can tell you everything down to, the color of her panties, whatever that she wore when she was alive, say she tells me about it. Anyway, you switch that, ghost hunters have really only been doing this a very short amount of time. Like Aaron said, he started 1999. It took him 2 years to get on, into his first investigation. And that was pre anything on TV. That was pre. So this is new, guys. This is not even 23 years old. This is a new science. And I do think it's going to take a while before that science starts to not only go, we've got proof of life after death, but now let's prove why we live while we're alive. And I think that's where you're going to see paranormal investigation go to. I really do, because there's such creative minds out there. They're always trying to prove one more thing or show one more thing or get the information a little easier, whether it be the afterlife communicating or vice versa. And I think watch them walk down this avenue is going to be pretty amazing. And like I said, I think it's going to take one investigation, and maybe it'll be Nick and Aaron that go, hey, got a question for you. Why would you want to be in the body? What's the purpose for this? And it just takes one to start down that road to kind of switch the conversation. In my world, switch the perspective. Very cool. Very cool. Oh, Tim, thank you. Afterlife Experiments, Scientific Proof by Gary Schwartz, PhD. I love it. I love it. I love it. Okay, guys, we are going to take a break. And when I come back, we are going to break this off a little bit early. We're going to take a break. And when I come back, we're going to do the weekly reading. This is Deanne here on School Through Spirit with WLTKDB.com. See you in a few. Everybody, welcome back to School Through Spirit with WLTKDB.com. Just want to let you know, I know Aaron's safely traveling, which I'm super happy about. And I just sent him a message saying, thank you so much. He gave me so much to talk about and explore. And I so appreciate that. I'm really hoping we can try this again in the future with bringing him on. Of course, we're going to wait until he's done traveling, had his weekend, had his coffee, the whole 10 yards, let him and Nick pick some vegetables if that's what they're going to do. Which I can see that. Those two are just amazing friends. I can see that. Like, there you go. So let's do our weekly reading, guys. Oh, I love this. I love it. You know what? Like I said, guys, sometimes everything happens for a reason. I am a person, everything happens for a reason, including his reception being bad. I'm a firm believer in that. So there you go. There you go. So we're going to use the Queen of Moon Oracle deck this week. I don't even know why I grabbed this deck. I just felt like I needed to. I actually feel like I need to grab a different deck. Oh my God. Sometimes being a psychic is not easy in life. I'm telling you. All of a sudden it was like, I need to grab a different deck. I don't even know why. It's a deck I barely use. It is the Oracle of the Seven Energies. We're going to grab this deck instead because I was grabbing the Moon or the Queen of Moon Oracle deck, and it just didn't feel right in my hands. It just did not feel right. So it said to grab a different deck. I don't know why. Don't know if there's a different message here than there. It's usually not. I can usually pull 5 cards from each deck, and they're all going to tell me the same message. So, but apparently we needed something a little bit more uplifting, a little bit more happy, and that's what this deck to me is about. So, and we're getting close to that time to bring Todd's favorite deck out, which is just, what the heck is the name of that deck? It's the Halloween Oracle deck, but I call it the Paranormal Spooky deck. That deck will be coming out in another month, and we will use that for the month of October and into November because it is Todd's favorite deck. So, oh my God, thank you, Tim. And the best part of the week, everyone gets to hear my stuff. I am glad, Tim, that I'm doing a good job, though, because as long as I know I'm putting Tim on blast, I know I'm doing something correct, right? So let's hit this. So let's do our weekly reading here, guys. Pulling our cards, seeing what happens. Okay. Okay, the first card is the Uncharted Sea. Ooh, Uncharted. Ooh, I like this card. Uncharted Sea. I like that. Because I do know if you picked card number 1. Oh, I should have told you the game rules. This is 5-card stud. I'm sorry, guys. I was just assuming everybody listening has heard about this. We're playing 5-card stud. You can pick card 1, card 2, 4 cards, 5 cards, whatever you want to do. This is your reading for the week. I'm going to individually talk about all the cards, and when I'm done, I'm going to put them together as a spread in case you're that person that picks all 5 cards. So card number 1 is the Uncharted Sea, and I do like this card because this tells me you are going into something brand new. You're going into your uncomfort zone. You've never been here before. You've never done this, and you're going, oh, shit, oh, shit, oh, shit. Excuse my language. But that's exactly what's happening. But you're going into this uncharted, unmarked territory for you. You have never been there, never done this, and it's very exciting. This is where you're going to make a lot of mistakes. You're going to fall on your face. All this great crap, including skinned up knees, is going to happen. But it comes with growth. It comes with growth. Why? Because you are going into that area where you're going, I've never been here before. I've never done this. Card number 2 is the Seeing Beyond card. It's the Seeing Beyond card. Ooh, I like this. Look at this. It's my world. It is. Look at that third eye. Oh, that's awesome. It's a third eye. I love that. So Seeing Beyond, and we're looking at that, is that you are starting, if you picked card number 2, it doesn't matter which I choose. All 5 will hit me in the face every time. Thank you, Tim. Anyway, Seeing Beyond. If you pick card number 2, you are starting to see a big picture. You are starting to see everything out here. This card, yes, it's a psychic medium card, but it is really, you are seeing everything out here, which is phenomenal, okay? And I like this because it is, you're not only are you in this uncharted territory, but you're really pushing your viewfinders out. You've taken them off and you've went, what is my bigger picture? What is my destiny going to look like if I follow this path? And that's what card number 2 is, because you are starting to make some decisions. Card number 3, Wish Upon a Star. Isn't that awesome? I like that card, Wishing Upon a Star. Card number 3 tells me you're starting to dare. You're starting to dare. You're looking at yourself going, what is it do I want? You've stopped looking at what society thinks. You've stopped looking at what mom and dad want for you. You stopped looking at what your partner says for you. And you finally gone within, you went, what do I want? What do I want to express? Where do I want to go? And you're going to start playing on that. You're going to start putting that intention out. And I think that's awesome. Now, card number 4 is Spirit of Gratitude. Spirit of Gratitude. This card, I will tell you, will probably be one of my favorite cards in the deck. Why? Because gratitude is huge. But if you pick card number 4, you are looking at that you're going to start being grateful for things that maybe you wouldn't have been grateful for before. And what I mean by that is we're really always grateful for those big things that come in and impact us in a big way. We tend to be very grateful for those things. But what you're looking at is you're going to start being grateful for a multitude of things, okay? And when there is gratitude, you will have more of it. And I do believe as you're walking into this card of the number 4, you're going to find that the more you give, the more you receive. The more you say thank you, the more you receive. The more you're appreciative, the more doors open. And that's where that spirit of gratitude will lead you. So as you're learning to give thanks, you're learning also to receive. Now, the last card is smoke and mirrors. Smoke and mirrors. Ooh, it's kind of a scary card when you're looking at it, isn't it? So when I'm looking at smoke and mirrors, it's not that everything is as it seems. If you pick number 5, not everything is as it seems, right down to who you are. Okay, because I do believe if you picked card number 5, you are really going to start continue. Hello, Jenny. You're going to start to continue this journey of self-discovery. You're going to continue to the journey to walk into this space that you haven't been before. But remember, not everything is going to be as it seems as you're walking through this. Open up to new possibilities. Open up to more things coming to you. And you're going to find it's pretty amazing. So if you picked card number 1 is Uncharted Sea. Card number 2 was Seen Beyond. Card number 3 is Wish Upon a Star. Card number 4 is Spirit of Gratitude. And card number 5 was Smoke and Mirrors. And if you picked all 5 cards like I do, and I know Tim does, we're looking at this because you are walking into an area which you've never been before. It's uncomfortable. It is going, oh my God, what have I done to myself? You know, because you're walking someplace you've never been. And as you walk into this, you're going to start to change. You're going to start to change your perspective. You're going to start to see things in a different aspect because that's truly what happens with growth. Okay. And while you're doing this, I'm going to tell you, this is where that gratitude comes in because you're going to be going, thank you for putting me in the place that I get to experience this. I get to have fun with this because you're going to find that those dreams that you've already planted, those seeds you already planted that you said, please, can I have this, that wish upon a star, you're going to start to see those come to fruition. And that's shown by the gratitude card, because as you've already planted those seeds days, weeks, years prior, these are starting to come to fruition. And as you do this, realize, guys, that everything you thought was going to be is not going to be, and that you can handle what they've got bringing to you. Okay. What an amazing cards this week. I love the message. I love the message. We're going to pull, of course, we're going to bring the Beyond Lemuria cards out because we got to bring that one extra card out that I can barely read anymore because the printing is so small. My eyes have gotten old. If anybody has witchy wool out there for good eyesight, please do some on me because my eyes have gotten worse. So let's pull a card from the Beyond Lemuria deck because you know how I love to end it. I love to pull it together with the 5th card or the 6th card actually because now I can't count. Just to do this. Beautiful. Okay, let's do this. So the card they have picked is, God, that's gorgeous. It says Star Seer. I can read it. It's all the way out here. I become my grandma. There we go. Have you ever headed toward a specific destination, but instead of it being where you ended up, the journey was the catalyst for getting you where you were meant to go? Have you ever felt nothing was working out as planned, but then it came together perfectly? This card depicts intuition as a guide lifting us to see where we are going and the stars she sees in us. The journey may not go as planned, but the outcome is better than you thought possible. Let the serendipitous unfold. Allow space for unexpected opportunities, even when the route is not as direct as you imagine. Listen to your intuition and know you have got this. Guys, we could never make this up, could we? I mean, I could try. I could desperately try to make it up, but I can't make it up when it's in the cards. There's no way. Oh my God, my eyes are so bloodshot this morning. That's good sleep, I think. Anyway, guys, that is our weekly reading. You know what I mean? That is our weekly reading, which is amazing, which is telling me, guys, this is our week. This is our week to start to go into that uncharted territory. This is our week to start to expand and to know that it is not going to be as you thought it was going to be. And that's okay. That's totally okay. It is okay for it to be whatever it is going to be, and it's going to come out as it's going to be, and it's totally okay, guys. It's totally okay. I just downloaded this. Oh, there it went. I never know where this goes to, so I got to figure it out. So let's talk about this. Let's talk about the different shows that we've got going on. We've had some change in this week. Some of our programming, I just want you to know, shows are changing. We're changing times. We're changing places. Things are going to kind of get remapped a little bit here, guys. And it's going to go over at a period of time. So don't expect it all at once. But as we do kind of go through this adventure called life, we'll let you know how it is and where everything's getting flip-flopped at. So we've got every Monday morning, myself, School Through Spirit. That is my 2-hour show, guys. After me, once a month, we got Healing from the North with Torrin Enthison. She was on last Monday morning. I hope you guys thoroughly enjoyed her. I love Torrin. I love, love, love Torrin. And you'll see her again in about 3 weeks. Ancient Healing with Jessica Lynn and Dialect Dialect Octon at 6 p.m. Monday Night Ticket with Lee Warner is at 7 p.m. And she starts tonight, guys. So make sure you watch her tonight. Be the Change with Christina Bloom is on at 8 p.m. We've got Tuesdays. We start exploring the paranormal with Heather Lee at 9 a.m. Ane with Ane Shin is at 5 p.m. Remember, she's our tarot lady, and she's awesome. Normally, we have Unfiltered with Diet and Mike on at 6 p.m. tomorrow night. But remember, guys, I'm in Florida tomorrow, so we will not be on. Moment to Moment with Linda Hope is at 7 p.m. And Spirits Are Talking with Lisa Silverman is at 9. Wednesdays, we have the Self-Care Show with Deidre Sanford at 10 a.m. Spiritually Imperfect with Mike and Jen is at noon. The Numerology Hour with Kelly Brickle is at 1 p.m. The Psychic Hour with Kelly Brickle is at 3 p.m. And Chat with Charlie Stephanie Lynn is at 5 p.m. A Healing Mindset Matters with Ronnie Blunt is at 6 p.m. See and Beyond with Kelly Eckhart and Cheryl Murphy is at 9 p.m. Now, Thursdays, we do have the Top Secret News with Christina George at 6 p.m. Realm of Darkness with Ashley Moreno is at 7 p.m. Haunted Voices with Todd Bates and Nicole Strickland is at 8 p.m. Now, Fridays, we do have the Psychic Hour reading show at 3 p.m. Twilight Tonight with Dee Dee Moonfire is at 7. Voice of Oneness with Amare Benet is at 8 p.m. And Twisted Ascension with Kaden and Elisa Mask is at 9 p.m. Again, that is another 2-hour show. That's another 2-hour show. So many wonderful shows. Such an amazing lineup. So many great things happening. Oh, Brenda, I am so happy that you enjoyed today. You know what? I love what I do. I won't even lie. I love, love, love what I do. Did I just totally mute myself? Love, love, love what I do. I picked up the keyboard, moved it, and muted myself. That's what I did, guys. That's what I did. But I'll tell you, I do love it. I do. This show has become a passion for me, and I love it. I do everything I can not to miss it. And if I can't be here, I usually try to tape it because honestly, guys, this is a show I don't like to miss it. I feel a responsibility to show up every Monday morning, and just be here, which I love. And thank you guys all for showing up and always showing up. I appreciate you so much. Now, next Monday morning, I've got Chaplain Jody Dean. Hopefully, I'm pronouncing that right. DEHN on. Jody is amazing. She is. I don't want to mess this up, and I know I will, so I don't want to mess it up. So she works at Survivor Angels, and she is Chaplain Jody Dean. Survivor Angels. She works with a lot of people. She has a unique. Let me just read what she wrote. Survivor Angels is a unique approach to strengthening trauma survivors escape what draws negativity. Let's just put it that way. She works with a lot of people that are just survivors, trauma in their life. She's truly amazing. She does so many amazing, great things. And I really can, and she's got her own podcast. And I really can't wait to have her on and have you guys to enjoy her and love her as much as I do. Because I will tell you what, I only met Jody truly at Chris Fleming's event, which was a month ago, 2 months ago, something like that. And we sat across from each other and we talked for a brief moment. And I have learned to enjoy Jody's hugs. She's just an incredible woman. And I cannot wait to share her and her story and her legacy with you, because you're going to love her as much as I do. Now, this week, guys, like I said, I'm going to Florida with a grandson. Hey, look at the nails. Look at the nails, guys. For everybody that can see, these are my Disney nails for this time around, because, of course, he's a little bit younger than Addie is. And we are going for the Disney aspect. Although we're not going to the Magic Kingdom. We're going to Epcot Center, and we're going to Animal Kingdom, not Lion's Den. Animal Kingdom. And I'm going to explore it this week through the eyes of a 3-year-old. And I will tell you what, guys, if you've ever taken a vacation where you've explored it through the eyes of a child, you see things like you never thought you'd ever would. And it's such a gift to myself. I will tell you, this week, people think I'm giving this to him as his birthday gift. It's really a gift to me also, because I get to enjoy the world through his eyes and how he sees things. And it's going to be so awesome. I cannot wait. So this time tomorrow, I'll be in Florida for 5 lovely days, fun-filled days of chasing a 3-year-old. But again, we only do things that he's going to want to do. I know it's a struggle bus, isn't it? Because I will look at him and go, "Hey, D, we're going to go on that ride." And he goes, no matter how bad I want to go on it, we won't go on it, because there's a reason he doesn't want to go on it. I don't know what it is. I'm just going to follow him, see what it's like. So that's what we're going to do this week. Now, I do have a couple of things going on, guys, in case. One, you can go back to my website, diet.us. Todd has so graciously, oh my God, so happy. I have a lot of people said they've lost me. They can't find me. You can now re-enter. We reactivated my old website, not the website itself, but the domain name, so that if you click on dietrenee.com, it will take you to my new website, diet.us. We found that a lot of people had lost me, or they're like, "Where are you at, Diet? Oh my God, we lost you." I am still here. We just we revamped me. We rebranded me down to just one name, because Diet is already hard enough to remember on its own, let alone putting extra names with it. So we're just going down to diet.us, the us being spirit. I know it's a US domain, but it really is just me and spirit, me and your guides. So it's diet.us, so it's diet and us, kind of. It's a whole lot more than just a diet. But you can go to my old domain, dietrenee.com, and it will link you right to my website so that you can still find me. With that being said, I am running an end of the summer special, and that is taking 20% off of readings, guys. 20% off of readings. All you have to do is, when it says enter a code, when you go to book, you literally go to my website, going to book a reading with me. You're going to hit the book button, whether it be half an hour or an hour. Those are the two options. It's going to say, do you have a code to enter or a discount to enter? You're going to put in the word summer, all capitals, summer, and it's going to apply the 20% right off the bat. Now, all readings will start Sunday through next week, and after that, this code will expire within a couple of weeks, guys. So if you want the discount, you're going to have to book now. You won't be able to get a reading with me this week, because obviously I am going to be in the end of the summer vacation with my grandson. But you can book anytime between now and the end of the year, or into next year. I mean, if you want to book up 5 readings next year using this code, get on it, because I'll honor it. It doesn't matter. You just have to book the reading between now and the end of next week in order to get the discount. I am also, I did it. I was going to hold off on doing a beginner's class, but somebody ordered the class and really wanted it. So I said, let's do it. So we are doing another beginner's class, guys, and it does start September 12th. September 12th is when beginner's class starts again. It will be an online class. It is going to be 7 p.m. Central Standard Time. That's 8 p.m. Eastern Time. And if you're in Pacific, it'll be 5 p.m. The class is essentially about an hour long, 45 minutes to an hour every Tuesday night for 8 weeks, 7 lessons, 8 weeks, all via Zoom. It is an amazing class. A lot of people will tell you, will take the class because some do want to, talk to their loved ones or somebody else's loved ones. But a lot of times it's just having those tickle tummies and really want to explore what those are understanding these abilities that God gave you at birth and just making sense of it, heads or tails of things. So a lot of people jump on that class for that. Again, you can go to my website and hit the button for that, or you can send me a PM or an email, and we can have a lot of conversations, whatever you need, any questions, to work that out, whatever makes it easier for you. And if you feel you're at the advanced level, Advanced 1 does start on September 13th. That's also going to be at that 7 p.m. Central Standard Time. So there you go. If you want to see me in person and get that reading in person, I will be in Ashland, Wisconsin, September 16th and 17th. That's my next event. That's with Soul and Synergy. And again, Ashland, Wisconsin. That's way up in the cold country, but it's gorgeous. It's literally, we look out the window of the center that we're at, and there's Lake Superior. It is gorgeous. And we are there for 2 days because it's just an amazing place to be for 2 days. You're going to love it, guys. You truly are going to love it. I know I love going up there. So make sure to take the time. And as always, guys, if you want time with me at one of these events and you're afraid of not getting that time with me, because sometimes I can really book up, guys, feel free to message me ahead of time. We'll pre-book your space for you. And then you just have to make sure you're there at that time. Okay. As always, guys, this is WLTKDB.com. We do a few things for you guys here. We're not just a radio station, guys. I mean, you might think we are, but we are so much more. We've got a few things going on. You know, as always, if you want a show, you know, of course, reach out to Todd, send that email to him. You never know where you can, we got some days still open, sometimes still open if you want that show. If you do have something to speak about, you think you have a topic you want to explore and share with the world, this is a great station to do it on. We are just one heck of a family. We also have commercials, guys. You're advertising, and it is really inexpensive. Why do I say it's an expensive? One, because it really doesn't cost that much, but two, because your radio show, your commercial could essentially play on one of my shows or somebody else's shows or multiple shows throughout the week. But not only does that go with the show while it's live, it goes into our podcast. We don't remove the commercials just because we go to podcasts. We only hit a button. So your commercial is going to stay with my show forever. As long as there's a podcast going and I have got the archives there is your commercial. So that really becomes cheap, isn't it? You pay for a month and you get it for a lifetime. You can't complain about that. Our station manager, Todd, is also a proficient web designer, guys. Go to my website, look at it. If you like it, if you can't get off it, if you want to just kind of keep exploring and seeing what more there is, it's because he designed it. He literally put the magic, his knowledge, his know-how, and I will tell you what, all I did was give him some colors. And he did the rest. I gave him some colors, some descriptions of classes, and this man rocked it. Okay, totally rocked it. So please trust me when I say, again, you can go through the WLTK, send him a message. If you're looking for a new website, he can do it as grand or as small as that you need. And prices will adjust based on what your needs are. But please reach out to him because, again, he's phenomenal at it. He's built the WLTK station website. He's built my website. He's built a multitude of websites out there. And I'm sure he can give you different ones you can go look at to explore to see what your likes or wishes are. But again, feel free to message him at the WLTKDB.com for all those needs because he is a man behind the keyboard that makes the magic happen. Truly, truly, we just make him look better because he's put it out for us to come out here and talk. But there is a man behind us all, and it is Mr. Todd Bates. With that being said, guys, I think we're going to end this show today. But thank you all for joining me. Join with Aaron. We're going to bring Aaron on another date. God bless him in his travels. And hopefully he does not have anything happen because the man needs to get to reception land. And I know that's almost unheard of, but there's areas all over the United States that have absolutely no reception. I know I hit them all the time. But this has been DeEtte here on School Through Spirit with WLTKDB.com. I will see you next week. Bye-bye, guys.
The truth is here and now on WLTKDB Talk Radio at WLTKDB.com.